Alright, today I'm going to be installing a Nextbase 622GW dash cam on a 2019 Infiniti QX60. So first I'm going to install the micro SD card in this unit. Just going to insert that guy in there. Next I'm just going to add the mounting clip to the camera, and we'll find the spot that we're going to mount it on the windshield. So I like to have my dash cam mostly hidden, so I'm just going to find a spot right behind the rearview mirror here, and I'm just going to leave a little bit of extra room so that I can actually insert the cord into this piece here. So probably right around there. So I'm just going to mark that out with just a little felt marker, and then we'll get that mounted. Once the base has been mounted to the windshield, I'm just going to plug the cable in for the cigarette lighter, and we will plug that into the center console here, and we'll just make sure that the camera works before we do any of the hard wiring. So now I'm just going to mount the camera, and we'll turn the car on and make sure that the camera turns on. Perfect. It should automatically start recording, and it is. So it looks like we're good to go. That's certainly an option to have the dash cam powered by the cigarette lighter adapter, but I'm not a big fan of having the cords dangling in the center of the car here. So what we're going to do is hardwire it into the fuse panel next. So Nextbase dash cams come with an optional hardwire kit. So this is what we picked up to hardwire the dash cam to the fuse panel so that we can hide our wiring. So to hardwire the 622 dash cam, what we're going to do is just plug it into the camera, run it straight back to the ceiling trim here. We're going to hide it underneath the ceiling trim, and then we're going to take this side trim piece off right here, just pop it off, and we're going to run it down through here. We'll fish the wire through down underneath to the fuse panel that's located right in the driver's side here, down to one of those fuses. Alright, so this trim piece should just pop right out. So I'm just going to get my fingers in there and just gently pull until I get loosen it up. And then we should have enough access if I just pull it back a bit, try and get our fish tape through down to the fuse panel underneath. So now I'm just going to use some fish tape here, and I'm just going to guide the tape down through this slot here and get it to the fuse panel underneath. There's a little crack just on the edge there, and I was able to push it through and get my fish tape down underneath here. So now I'm just gonna tape the power cable to this end here and pull it through. Okay, so I got some tape tied to the end of the power cable there, and I'm just gonna pull the rest through now. We're having a little bit of trouble just getting this cable to come through here. So what I'm going to do next, just to see what's going on there, is I'm going to pop this side panel off. So it should be just clipped in. If we run a screwdriver and a flat edge just along the edge here, we should be able to pop this panel out as well. There we go. So we're going to take this one out, and we'll take a look and see if that helps us get the wire through. Alright, so now that the side panel is off here, what we're going to do is just run this cable underneath here, like this, and back through there, and then we'll run it up along the edge here. Next we'll run it in and behind this piece here, the end of the dash, and then up along the edge of the side trim piece here. Alright, now that we got the wire fished up through the side trim piece here, we can plug this end into the camera, and then we'll be able to hide the rest of it in the top ceiling trim panel. We just disconnected the camera and the cable that was running to the cigarette adapter. Alright, we now have our new cable plugged into the mounting bracket, and we're just going to take this wire here now and wedge it into the ceiling trim panel, straight back, and then all the way along the edge here. Now that the cable's hidden, we're ready to snap the side trim panel back into place here. So that just should snap into place like that. We're just going to take a screwdriver and make sure that the weather stripping is run back up and over top of the side trim panel cover here. Then we can snap this weather stripping piece back into place here to just snap right onto the side of the car here. And now we can replace this side panel. That should just slide in and snap back into place. Alright, now we're ready to wire the other end into the fuse panel. And I'm going to pick the ACC-1 20 amp power socket fuse. That's the fuse that's used for the cigarette adapter. So that one is off when the car is off and on when the car is on. And the reason I want to use that fuse is so that we don't drain the battery. So I don't want the camera to be on when the car is off. And so we will be using that fuse right there, the 20 amp ACC-1 fuse. There's also a ground wire that needs to be connected. And I found a grounding screw that I could use here, just underneath the fuse box. There is a 10mm bolt here that I'm going to loosen, and we'll tie the ground wiring to that screw right there. So our ground wire has been properly secured, and we're now ready to connect the fuse. Alright, so I noticed the fuse puller in the car is right here, so I'm just going to take the fuse puller out, and we will remove our top 20 amp fuse by just inserting it onto the fuse and pulling out. And that should be able to grab our fuse here, and we'll dump it out there. So we can return this fuse puller back there. All right, now we can take this red wire and just run it up and under into the fuse panel here. So our wiring bundle will all end up behind the fuse panel there. Once that's pulled through, we can connect the wire to the fuse adapter that was provided. So this is the adapter that was provided, so we're just going to connect these two together. Unfortunately, the fuse adapter that was provided required the higher profile teeth, and this one here that was in the fuse panel is the low profile. So we have to actually purchase some 20 amp fuses with a higher profile, and we'll plug that into the space next to the fuse that's provided in this adapter kit here. Alright, so we have a 20 amp fuse replacement plugged into the adapter here. Now we're just going to plug this end here into the fuse that was just pulled for the ACC-1 power socket. Alright, so we have our dash cam adapter plugged into the empty spot that we took out for the 20 amp fuse for the ACC-1 power socket. I'm just going to wrap all this excess wire in a bundle, and we'll just hide it behind the fuse panel. Alright, so we have the excess wire bundle all tied up, and we can just go and grab this and hide it right behind the fuse panel here. So let's go show you where we hid our wire. So it's just way back up and behind the fuse panel there, up and all the way, so you can't really see it from the front here. Okay, so now we can replace our fuse panel cover. Now we're ready to start the car and make sure that the camera turns on. Looks like it's powering up. Good. And we're also going to make sure that it starts recording. Fantastic. And we'll shut the car off and make sure that the camera also turns off. Fantastic. So that's how to install and hardwire a Nextbase 622 GW dashcam in a 2019 Infiniti QX60. I hope this video is able to help somebody else out.